As if anybody cares. Nobody wants to write into the show, that's fine. I didn't want to talk to you anyway. How about that? I'm pouting now is what's happening. Boop, 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 boop.
There we go.
Somebody's on. Who's that? Alan?
Someone's on?
Yeah.
Oh,
Brianna!
hi.
Breezy!
Hi, Brianna.
Breezy!
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to need to turn that down. Can I get you to scoot up just a little bit? I'm going to put this behind you.
Oh, yeah.
You got this, Darian. You got it.
We're going to be ready to go any minute now. See what happens? How did you even get this in here?
I got that in there before the chair.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We need a bigger studio.
Welcome to this old house. This is the carpentry edition of the padded room.
Yeah.
Today we're going to build some shelves, boys and girls. All right, right there. Beautiful. Tonight she comes. Okay. Anybody else on? There's 4 people on. Who else is on with us? Identify yourselves immediately. Well, maybe somebody will send us a pizza again.
Oh.
I could do it. I could do it with a pizza.
No, I'm always down for pizza. Why not? You know?
I would prefer that the individual that sent the pizza not scare the shit out of my wife.
Yeah, she was pretty
She was
scared.
pretty scared. Had a little paranormal encounter 2 weeks ago here in the padded room, inmates. Hey! Appreciate the pizza there, Jim.
Yeah.
Hi,
But-
Jim, whoever you are.
That was the day I was gone.
Yes, you met Jim. You remember
I
Jim?
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's our producer friend. Remember when we shot that movie at Blair's house?
Oh, okay. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for the pizza.
Next time, no pizza.
Oh, come on.
Can we have like a big mug with coffee like they do on talk shows?
Monica's a vegetarian. I prefer Monster Energy
Okay,
to
well,
the
we can
to the
pour that
coffee.
in our big cup, and
I don't know if I can legally show that on
that's why
camera.
if we had a big cup, it would be.
That's right. Just get big padded room mugs. All right. We ready to get into a movie here, kids?
Yeah, we can't wait.
I can't. I'm sensing your sarcasm.
No,
No?
no.
I like this movie.
No.
No. Yes. All right, let's get mic'd up here. And we're on.
All right.
That's right, boys and girls. We're talking about Tonight She Comes from 2016 here in the lovely Miss Monica month. Monica, you picked this movie.
Yes.
Why did you pick this movie?
I love this.
I love this movie too.
It reminds me kind of like the Evil Dead style,
Yeah.
and this girl has
A great body?
amazing boobs.
She has amazing everything.
Oh my god.
She looks great covered in blood.
Yeah.
I would have sex with her. I prefer that I'd hose her down. You're going to want to hose her down first. Stop doing that. Alrighty. So this one came in at 3.9 stars. Was written and directed by Matt Stewart. Stars Nathan Esquire, Larissa White, and Jenna McDonald. This one is unrated. It's an indie flick, inmates. It's got everything you need in a horror movie. Plenty of naked chicks. Actually, really, well, just one, but we get to see some other boobs. What else you got? Plenty of blood. A little bit of black magic in there for you.
Yeah.
Cabin in the woods, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
What else do you need? You're set. You're ready to go. You even got a redneck family in there. What the hell? What the hell are these people doing? It's going to get ugly. I'll tell you that. So anyway, our movie starts off in the woods in the middle of the night, and a very attractive young lady being chased by somebody. She stops. We realize that she is possibly pregnant, or maybe she just likes tacos a lot. I don't know which way she's going. Rips her shirt open, and she's got like some occult symbology going on her stomach there. Looks like she's going into labor for a second or two.
Yeah.
And then produces a shard of glass and starts stabbing herself in the unborn baby or whatever it is. Belly button region. So that's our start right there. There's blood everywhere. And then from there, we're going to cut to two other young ladies that are drinking and driving.
Yes.
Rock and roll. We do not condone drinking and driving.
No.
Unless
Unless it's me.
Monica's a drunk driving pro. So I've ridden with her when she's sober. It's scary. You need to get a couple pops in her just to even her out before she gets behind the wheel. We're probably going to get shut down for that. That's fine. So they're on their way to meet the girl that we just met in the woods there. Now we have these three young ladies. We have Christy. She's the one that's stabbing herself in the stomach. We have Ashley and Lindsay. They're the drunk ones driving to meet her. From there, we're going to cut to the next morning where we're going to meet our two protagonists, I guess. You have Pete and James.
Yeah.
James is, I guess, a mailman in training of some sort, mail delivery guy in training. He doesn't have a mail truck.
No.
He doesn't have a mail uniform.
No.
He doesn't have one of those dumb shit safari hats that I always seem to see the mailmen wearing.
I guess in Arkansas you don't need those.
Is that where this is taking place?
I'm just taking a guess.
I think it was upstate New York. I don't
He's
know.
more like a paper boy.
Really? Yeah. I think he was actually a mail thief.
Yeah.
And he's trying to give everything back or something. I don't know what he's doing. He's delivering the mail, and he's doing it in his own vehicle without a uniform on. He's just got a back seat full of random letters, and he's driving around out in the woods trying to find these addresses. And he's getting pissed because they're hard to find. So he brings his buddy Pete along with him. Now, I'm all for being a loser, and I'll fully admit I'm a loser. I'll tell you right now. I'll let you know up front. Oh, hey, Gene's in the house. What's up, Gene?
Hi, Gene.
Gene with the movie reviews. I'm a loser, I'll tell you that right now. But what I'm not going to do is beat off in my friend's back seat while he's driving.
I appreciate that.
I don't know. I mean, I've called myself on numerous occasions, I am the Iron Man of beating off. Anytime, anywhere. That's my motto. But number one, I'm going to show Buddy the courtesy of not splooging all over the back of his driver's seat. Number two, what are you beating on? What's got you so fired up in the back of your friend's car that you have to pull one out on the spot? Does he have a really sexy back of the head hair situation or something? Because that's all you're looking at, man. I don't get it. What if your friend was really hot, Swedish chick? Well, Jim, I like to think of myself as a gentleman. Okay. Now, like I said, I will beat off in the back of a car, not Buddy's car. Possibly Monica's car. She's got a big truck. So, I could probably finagle like my cell phone and get some X videos going on. But if the friend in question was indeed a hot Swedish chick, I'm just going to I'm going to be straight up with her. Hey, I'm going to squeeze one out back here. Sorry. If you'd like to participate, you're welcome to join me.
So thoughtful.
Hergen, Gergen, Gergen.
Gergen, Gergen.
But that's what's happening here. It's Pete is beating off in the back of the car. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, for fuck's sake. And he's got like a pile of mail under him too. So James pulls over and he's like, dude, what are you doing? So they get out and then they have like a little kerfuffle, and he's trying to find this address on the map because he doesn't know where he is or what's going on. He ends up giving Pete a good swat to the nuts. Isn't it, well, you don't know, but isn't it strange how just a little swat to the nuts hurts way worse than being punched?
Yeah.
Have you ever had...
Oh, yeah.
I've been in fights where I've been punched in the balls, and it doesn't really hurt that bad when you're fighting.
Right in the penis titties. Oh.
The penis titties. I've always called them skin chandeliers.
Oh,
Penis titties. Alrighty. That's a new one. Oh, points for originality. But that causes Pete to go down, and he's like, he's like, oh, I'm going to throw up. And then he's like, oh, all right, well, I got to go find this address. And he's like, no, I'm not going to throw up. I got to take a shit now. So James gets back in the car and takes off to try to find this address. Pete is now like staggering around the woods looking for a place to take a shit. Now we're going to cut back to our I've been flipped with just a finger and it dropped me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Gene knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, dude. All it takes is just that little boink. That hurts a lot worse than a full-on slug.
wow. I have to remember that.
Yeah. So
Very, very sensitive.
I mean, if you're getting raped, don't do like that. You know, you want to do like a grab and a twist, Monica. That's just gonna piss him off probably. Because to be honest though, I've never been flicked in the dick when I was fully erect. So that might be a whole other story. I don't know how that works, Gene. But anyway, now we cut to the next morning. The girls have shown up at their friend Christy's cabin. Now, we're going to find out that this whole thing takes place like in the same general area. I think it was a lake, wasn't it? Or a pond or something?
I thought it was a lake.
A lake. It's a small lake, but Christy's cabin is right there on the lake. So the girls get there to meet Christy. Christy, of course, is not there because she's stabbing herself in the stomach out in the woods there. So the girls are hammered. They've been drinking and driving all night. So naturally, the first thing that they're going to want to do is get out of the car, disrobe, get into a weird pulling the bra off each other kind of a fight there, right there on the shore of the lake. And I don't know, was it just me or did it look cold out?
It looked
It did
cold.
look
Right?
cold,
It
yeah.
did.
You could see
see
their
their
breath.
breath.
Yeah.
These chicks are out there in a goddamn bikini playing with each other's boobies. It's beautiful. So as that's going on, of course, Pete is now, I like to think he managed to take a shit. I don't know if he actually did or not, but he's coming through the woods and he sees this topless little drunken bikini fight going on. So he produces a telescope,
Yeah.
like a pirate telescope. Or, yeah, it's a telescope, right?
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
telescoping, hey, I'm going to check out your box and possibly get myself arrested type of a deal. He pulls that out and he starts looking at these chicks and, of course, beating off again. Which, I mean, this part I'm okay with in the beating off department.
Yeah, at least he's looking at something.
At least he's got something to look at. And that's arousing. These two chicks bikini fighting each other. In the back of your buddy's car with a bunch of random mail? Not so good, my friend. Anyway, he starts pulling one off in the woods, and of course the chicks spot him, and they're like, hey, this is a fucking guy. And he's like, oh shit, so he takes off back into the woods. Now we're going to cut to James. Now, it's fortunate for us that James's mystery letter happens to coincide with Christy's address, because he got there just before the girls did. And like the world's shittiest mailman ever, he decides that instead of just dropping the mail in the mailbox, he's actually going to break into the house, walk around, poke around the enclosed porch area, and then take himself a nap
On a hammock.
on a hammock. Now, I've come to understand that there's a reason why James isn't a full-on mailman. And it's for reasons like this. And that's probably why he's never going to be one, because he's breaking into
I was
houses.
tired.
I get tired at work too. You know? I'm not going to break into somebody's house, Monica. Jesus. Anyway. So that's pretty stupid.
Especially when there's a sign that says violators will be shot.
Will be shot. You will be shot. And that's including the mailman. All right, so he's in there taking a nap. The girls have just seen Pete's dick out in the woods there, so they're all freaked out. They want to run inside. They keep trying to call Christy on her cell phone, but of course Christy's out in the woods. So they go inside, and that's where they spot James taking a nap there in the hammock. So they're like, who the fuck is this guy? That's clearly not Christy, and what's he doing taking a nap in the goddamn hammock? So Ashley, I believe, goes and gets a pistol out of the car. Now, a couple things about this pistol. I admit I'm the gun guy of the group. That was a World War II style Luger,
Yeah.
which is something that is a very strange firearm for a college girl to have. That thing should probably be in a museum.
Her grandpa probably gave it
That's
to
what
her.
it is. Yeah. Case a mailman should happen to fall asleep on your porch, you want to blast him with this thing. I took it off a dead Luftwaffe back in the war.
Wow.
So yeah, that's interesting. And now here's the even trickier part. They go and they wake him up, and she points the gun at him, and they're like, "We're gonna shoot you because you broke into our fucking house." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm the mailman. I'm just gonna get out of here." So she racks the slide, as if to chamber around. And then she goes, "I don't like you. I'm going to shoot you." And then she pulls the trigger and water comes out. Now, I've never seen a water gun in my life that you actually had to rack the slide on, or that even had a slide. It's usually just a little plastic cork thing that you pull out, and then you put the water in. It's not a bolt action weapon. It's a water gun. So I'm thinking too much about this.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
I'm just going to move on then. Stop thinking about guns. All right, well, that's interesting. Anyway, from there, they get up and they kind of strike like an uneasy friendship there with the Pete. Ash it was Lindsay. She's like, "Oh, this guy's kind of cute, and we're both drunk. Let's have him hang out for a little while." And this is where we find out that Ashley is actually on her period, or as they put it in the movie, Shark Week. I got a little chuckle out of that. I've never heard that before. Have you?
No.
Shark Week?
Me either.
No? In reference to a menstrual cycle?
Yeah, I never heard of that.
Me neither. It's a good comparison, though, I'd say.
Shark Week.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
Blood and probably aggressive behavior. My wife turns into a bit of a shark when it's that time.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I just
I'm
do
trying to put this together.
I just do a lot of apologizing. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, ma'am. I'm very insensitive. I know. But that son of a bitch I am. I don't know what to say.
Can I get you anything?
What can I do for you? So that's pretty cool. We didn't really need that information, but we see her throwing up, and we see like her like blood, like changing tampons and things like that. It's going to come into play in a minute, though. So they continue to get hammered. Now we're going to cut to Pete, who's out staggering around the woods looking for something else to beat off to. What else does he stumble upon? Our now possibly deceased friend Christy, who is naked, laying on the floor there on the ground in the woods. He's like, "Oh, shit, naked lady." So he tries to call somebody on his phone, no service. Takes a bunch of pictures of her with the phone there. What is that all about?
No, that was probably him going.
I'm gonna. Well,
Yeah.
he does try to go all child of God on us, if you know what I'm saying. So he takes a bunch of pictures. He can't get any service on his phone, but he happens to spot her phone, Christy's phone, nearby. So he picks it up, hits redial, and that actually ends up bringing Ashley back at the cabin. Cut back to the cabin. Ashley is hammered, and she's, changing a tampon or whatever she's doing. And at this point, back at the cabin, Lindsay and James are looking like they're going to fuck. And that's fine. I'm all for that. But Lindsay is way too hammered.
Yeah.
Now, I've been known to nail some drunk chicks, but not that drunk. If you're thinking you're going to get a piece and they're that drunk, that is like quite possibly rape, right? I mean, that's bad because they're like, and he knows what's going on because she's like, "Go get a sleeping bag. We're going to fuck." So he has to haul ass because he knows damn well that she's going to pass out.
And a beer.
And a beer, we're going to need a beer and a sleeping bag. Do you have any condoms? No, don't worry about the condoms. Just the beer and the sleeping bag. So he's got to haul ass, and once he's trying to get the sleeping bag arrangement so he can nail Ashley
Before she passes out.
before she passes out. Even still, man, when they're that drunk, I mean, even when I'm that drunk, nobody wants to have sex with me, even when I'm not that drunk. To be honest with you, if we're talking about that.
Boys are sloppy. When
Oh,
they're
it's stupid.
drunk.
It's stupid.
It's
I can't.
like this. Oh, fuck. It's been 30 minutes and I'm getting raw and I gotta go.
Hey, you don't have any Gatorade, do you?
Gatorade.
Can I get just no? We're gonna finish. I just need like a towel. Can I just towel off for a minute? Oh, that's nasty. Anyway. So that's what's going on. So what I'm getting at here is that Ashley misses the call because she's busy fucking with James. Mm-hmm. She tells James that Lindsay is actually a virgin. So he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this now. So there's a little bit of back and forth there. Now we're going to cut to Pete, who's out there with the supposed dead body of Christy. He's just kind of hanging, hoping that somebody calls him back or he gets some cell service so that he can tell them about this dead body.
Hi, Steven.
Hey, Stevesy's in the house.
Hey.
What's up, Stevie? So he's starting to get a little weird with the dead body of Christy. Yeah. At first, it's all the cell phone pictures and different angles and lighting situations.
Closes her eyes,
then like moves her hand around into different poses, and it's getting weird. Yeah. All right, the beating off is one thing, but I'm not going into necrophilia territory. But that's where Pete is going. So he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna lay down on top of her here for a second." Oh, fully clothed, though, because I don't want to, I'm not a weirdo.
So, he's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman, much like myself. So he's like I don't know, I kind of felt like he was going in for a smooch, maybe, or something. Yeah. And, he's getting ready to mount up this dead body, and her eyes snap open. Woo, she's awake. And he's like, oh, my God, you're alive. You know what? Don't move. I'm gonna call your friend again, and everything's gonna be cool. You're gonna be fine. And he tries. Now he's trying to be a gentleman. He takes his jacket off and tries to cover her with it. Mm-hmm. After he took a bunch of nude selfies, you nasty fuck. So that's what happens, and he tries to call Ashley back on Christy's phone. He gets about halfway through another voicemail, and then that's when Christy kind of bolts upright. And you just kind of see her lunging at Pete. Mm-hmm. And then from there, we cut back to the drunk cabin there. Mm-hmm. More drunkitude at the cabin. A lot of shots. Unfortunately for James, he does not get to actually have sex with Lindsay because he believes that she's a virgin. And she's pretty goddamn soused. So they're hanging out there. Now it's starting to get dark, which is kind of creepy because they can't get into the main cabin. They can only get into that enclosed porch area. They look across the lake and they see Christy. They can't quite tell it's her. They just see a hot naked chick across the lake. Mm-hmm. And she just starts walking towards them, which takes her right into the middle of the lake. Mm-hmm. She's covered in blood also, I should mention. Mm-hmm. And she's pretty hot. Mm-hmm. And she shaves her bush. Mm-hmm. And you get to see her meat doorway, if you understand what I'm telling you. You get to see the whole kit and caboodle. She had some pretty beat up lips. Monica, did you get that?
Beef?
Roast beef.
Yes.
Used bubble gum. Elephant ears. I've heard them called. They were pronounced, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing necessarily, but you could tell there was some miles put on that thing. On that thing. Now, I don't know. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So she comes walking across the lake. Is that Christy? I don't know. Anyway, Christy. Hey, Christy! They turn around and she's gone. She's now in the middle of the lake somewhere. So they get into this, I think it's Christy. I don't know if it is Christy. She comes out of the lake, now on their shore, and out of nowhere, a bonfire erupts in their fire pit. Whoosh! Yeah. And she just starts meticulously walking towards them slowly and methodically. I thought that scene was pretty creepy and pretty badass because she's hot, whoever that actress is. She has a nice TNA package, vagina lips notwithstanding.
Can't have it all.
You can't. You gotta, maybe she's got a bad tooth or something, got one of those weird, one of those teeth, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tooth.
What is it called? The snaggle?
Snaggle tooth. Or what's even worse is you got one that's not the same color as the rest of them.
Oh,
that's distracting. That'll throw you off. You can't even focus on what you're saying because you just zeroed in on that one weird colored tooth. Why is it just that tooth? Why aren't all your teeth that color? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, So she comes out. Now she's still got that broken piece of glass, and she's walking towards. At first, she was walking towards James. She like grabs him by the neck, but then Ashley bites her in the leg. So she releases James, and then she's not. She's kind of acting zombie-like because she's not really showing any motivation to actually kill these people. Hey yo, Tom Hardy's in the house.
All right.
What's up, Tom Hardy?
Hi, Tom Hardy.
Hey, Tom Hardy, thank you for being one of the only people to reach out to us this week. I appreciate you, sir. And Alan, too, who is apparently too busy to join us tonight. Anyway, so we get like a little bit of a tussle. Ashley kind of becomes like the... alpha of this little trio. She's like, get Lindsay inside. I'm going to lead her over here and I'm going to fight her off. So Ashley leads her around the side of the cabin. Lindsay and James are trying to break into the cabin. They're having zero success in that field, though. Ashley goes and gets a oar, like you paddle a boat with, and manages to knock Christy out by hitting her in the head with the oar. Takes the shard of glass away, too. She's like, hey, what's going on? How come you guys haven't broken into the cabin yet? And James is like, oh, it's like double pane glass. I can't get the window to break. And Ashley, of course, is hammered. She's like half in and half out of a sleeping bag because she's too drunk to get out of the sleeping bag, I guess.
Yeah, that was weird.
I've gotten stuck in a sleeping bag.
Hey, Troy.
Hey, Troy's in the house. What's up, Troy?
Hi, Troy.
Paranormal ambassador of the padded room. She can't get out of the fucking sleeping bag. She's too drunk. So Ashley comes and she's like, just smash the glass, you fucking pussy. And he's like, I'm trying. I hurt my elbow. Oh. Pretty soon, Christy gets back up and she starts coming at him again. Luckily, about this time, we get like the reinforcements arrive. Now, periodically throughout this movie, we've cut to like a stalker POV cam type of a thing where you see somebody else looking at the girls through the woods. I was under the impression it was Pete beating off again. But you never, the only difference is whoever our stalker was, he had like a knife in his hand.
Yeah.
And you'd see the knife and there's hot chicks out there and I don't like it. How dare they come over here and take their tops off? But Pete would have something else in his hand. So that's this family shows up. As they're trying half-assed to break into the cabin, we see an old man inside the cabin. He like looks out the window and he's like, I'm not letting you in. And then he closes the window. But then here comes this big guy. I think he had a shotgun, and he shoots Christy. Doesn't kill her, doesn't even really do any damage, just knocks her down for a little while. And then they manage to get, the big guy lets everybody into the cabin. Unfortunately, while they're getting into the cabin, Lindsay is still stuck in her goddamn sleeping bag.
Yeah.
So Christy gets up, grabs a sleeping bag, and gives Lindsay the Jason X treatment against a tree. That was pretty dope.
That was pretty
This
good.
is a very low budget movie, and for what they did special effects wise, I thought that part was pretty cool. So Lindsay is now out of the equation. Unfortunately, she was hot too. You don't think so? I thought she was hot. She had a nice body, if nothing else. She was drunk and obnoxious. I'll give you that. But
We both like the main girl.
which one? Oh,
Yeah.
bloody
Yeah.
Christy there. She's hot too. I mean, all three of these chicks are hot. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So they get inside the cabin, and this is where we meet our redneck family. We have Philip, the crabby old man. We have the daughter, Felicite. And then we have the big oaf guy was stalking people out in the woods, Philip. Oh, no, the old guy was Francis. The old guy was Francis. Felicite, and Philip. So, these are your standard rednecks, you know.
Bruce Stern should have played.
He looked just like them,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So, they get him into the cabin, and they're holding him at gunpoint, Ashley and James. And they're like, God damn it, I told you kids not to come up here, and you're messing everything up. And what we're going to get through some somewhat intense dialogue is...
Troy is the tampon movie.
It is the tampon movie, Troy. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, there is a tampon prominently featured. Sorry, I know it's but quick question for Miss Monica. What is your question, Tom Hardy? Horror films don't portray rednecks in a positive light. Total bullshit. Jim, rednecks don't portray rednecks in a positive light. My friend, I'm sorry. So they're inside. They're having like this tense kind of conversation at gunpoint. What happens is, through this conversation, we realize that there's like a black magic ritual in play. What's up with the mother's face in Krampus? Or was it just me? That was Toni Collette there, right? In Krampus?
The mother's face?
Yeah.
Like the old woman, or would she be the grandmother?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Tom Hardy. If you're talking about the regular mom, that was Toni Collette.
Yeah, the regular mom.
Yeah, she's. I don't see anything wrong with her face. America needs more rednecks. You're probably right, Jim.
America.
America.
No, we have enough here.
We have enough here in this room.
Yeah. I'm not a redneck. I'm a city girl.
Oh, Monica. So what we're going to find out through this dialogue is that what's happening here is a black magic ritual of some sort. The Francis's wife passed away, the mother of Philip and Felicite, and he has undergone some kind of a Necronomicon-esque ritual to summon her back. And I think the original plan was that she was going to inhabit the body of Christy, which would be a pretty sweet deal. If you could find a random hot chick and then
Put yourself in there.
you don't want to, well, I mean, you do want to put yourself in there, but if you have like a really cool girlfriend who's not so easy on the eyes, you can do like some kind of a flip-flop with these two. You know what I'm saying? I'm down. I'm going to investigate this. My wife is fine. I love her very much. She's very attractive. But if like a young,
But
But if there's an 18-year-old
I mean-
body available somewhere.
you know, maybe like a exotic dancer somewhere. I'm just spitballing here. Get myself in more trouble. He's probably standing right outside the store. Anyway, so that's what's happening. Now we need to complete the ritual, apparently, because right now we're like halfway through it, and whatever is inside Christy is not Francis's wife. It's some kind of a demon. And that's bad news, because all this demon wants to do is kill everybody. So the good news, though, is that we can demon night this place you can seal it by drawing like weird hashtags on the windows with your own blood, and then she can't get in. So Philip does that. Philip's a big guy, but he does a lot of wrist slashing because he needs blood to seal the house. What? Were you rolling your eyes?
No, that scene there, he's just like,
He does it like 4 times.
yeah, I
too.
know.
And then he's got to do the thing on the floor, so he's like, and he's got to do it on another window. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I give blood regularly. They usually give you a donut and some orange juice. You might want to at least sit down for a minute. Great idea, the oral skills of a fat chick transfer to a hot chick. See, that's what I'm talking about, Tom Hardy. That's thinking outside the bubble right there.
well, Jim says he'd never leave his study if he inhabited a hot chick's body.
I wouldn't either, Jim. There would be a lot of mirrors, and I'd do a lot of stretching, and probably be some machinery involved. Anyway, enough about me. Enough about me and what I would do in my hot chick body. So the thing is, though, is that to complete the ritual, Francis has to kill at least James, possibly James and Ashley. So he tells Felicite to go get the shotgun, and she's got to get them ready for the big kill there. So this is when Felicite, that's exactly what he calls her, by the way, starts having second thoughts. And she's like, Daddy, we're not going to kill these people, are we? And he's like, I told you to mind your business, Felicite. Go get the shotgun. And, she's not wanting any part of this because she doesn't want to kill these two. Pretty soon, it's like game time. I think they have to pull this off by midnight, and if they don't, then she can't be the wife. She's stuck in demon mode. Clock's ticking. Things are getting ugly. James at one point realizes that Philip left the shotgun in the other room, so he makes a run for it. Philip grabs him, roughs him up a little bit. Philip is a big slasher type oaf, but he really hasn't killed, other than shooting Christy, he hasn't really killed anybody or done anything wrong so far. They're just on the point of finally killing James, Francis is, when Philip has a change of heart and decides to shoot his dad right in the head with the shotgun. That part was pretty dope.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Blew his fucking dome into like 50,000 pieces. And they're like, oh, and then Felicity.
They didn't really feel bad about it either.
No, it seemed to me like Felicity and Philip had this whole thing worked
Yeah.
out beforehand. I don't think they really liked their dad, and I don't think they really wanted their mom to come back either.
And she didn't want a hot mom either.
If I was Philip, I would go for a hot mom. Do I have any say in the picking out of which mom I
almost
get?
felt like the brother and sister.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did at some point. So now what we're left with is Philip, Felicity, James, and Ashley. So what we got to do is we got to find a way to get this demon the fuck out of here so we can leave this place peacefully. Apparently the Necronomicon is in the house. So Philip and Felicity go upstairs and start going through their dad's shit, and they come back with a bunch of loose pages from Black Magic text, Necronomicon, whatever. This was my favorite part. Felicity comes down the stairs with this big basket of like pages and papers, and she's like, "So, y'all know how to read?"
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I know.
And James and Ashley kind of look at each other for a second. They're like, and she's like, read, like papers and shit and symbols. You know what all that means? And they're like, yeah, we got that part down. So everybody starts rummaging through these papers trying to find the banishment spell or whatever it is. What they need to do before any of that takes place, though, is they need to create like a sigil on the floor in blood and then get inside it, and then at least they'll be protected inside the sigil. So again, poor Philip has to slash his wrist open for the 8th time in this movie and bleed himself out. Hey, Shelly's in the house.
Hey.
Welcome aboard, Shelly. We're talking about tampons. Sorry you missed the opening part here. So Philip bleeds himself out again, makes this huge pentagram sigil on the floor, and then promptly passes out in the corner there. He's done, dude. So Felicity's going through all the papers, and she comes across the banishment ritual or whatever it is. And I'm not 100% sure what the plan was, but Felicity's got like a Desert Eagle handgun, and she's given the orders here. She needs more blood. They have like a pimp goblet, type of a grail type of a thing, and they all need to bleed into it, and they got to fill this thing up. So I think she just gave up on Philip because she just slashes his throat open and bleeds him into the mug there, and then she gets blood from James and Ashley, and they're like, well. She's like, well, we need pure blood. We need, some kind of a different blood here.
Any of you virgins?
Yeah, y'all ain't virgins, are you? And they're like, no. She had to stop and think. She's like, okay, so you're not a virgin. You're not a virgin. Me, no. You no. But eventually they come up with I guess a different plan, which is instead of virgin blood, they're going to use Ashley's period blood.
Yeah, she sniffed it out.
She can smell the period blood. That is not a fragrance that you want to purchase at a JCPenney. Period blood. Not a good idea.
I hate when women are on their period at work. Because when you go in the bathroom, you can smell it.
You can actually smell that?
You can smell it. Shelly, you know what I'm talking about.
Shelly.
You can smell it. And I go, fucking bitches on their periods, man. God damn it.
Wow. You are a dude.
Well, you can fix that.
I'm telling you. Yeah, you get a tampon and we're not going to make this a podcast about periods. It's disgusting. Trying to talk about
Yes, and it's awful.
We're
That's
talking.
what she
Oh,
said.
I'm sure it is, Shelley. God, this is getting weird. We're trying to talk about horror movies, for fuck's sake. All right, so they have her pull the tampon, and then she like pops a little squat over the goblet there and bleeds into it. So now they got the goblet full, and now they need to. The time is running out, and Christy's like banging on the door. Scented tampons are a lifesaver. Do they actually make scented tampons?
Yes.
What do those smell like?
Ooh, maybe
Pine fresh?
I don't know. I haven't bought one.
'Cause you're a
in,
dude.
I haven't bought one
She's a
in
dude.
like 20 years.
A tampon.
Yeah, or a pad.
So you just don't get it. Do we really want to have this discussion?
Look, if you don't have a hysterectomy, you can keep taking your birth control pills
Okay.
every day of the month.
And that'll stop your period?
Yeah, you just keep taking it.
Okay.
Like that week that you're supposed to have a period, you start a new pack. And then you just never get a period until you're ready to go off your pills.
Write that down. Take notes on that.
I tell every chick that. Why don't you just get on the pill and take it every day and you don't have to be like this. And you don't have to wear underwear anymore.
It just got weird.
It did just get a little strange in here. All right, there you have it, ladies. How to avoid a... They just smell like baby powder and keeps it from smelling like a bee dam. Yep, take the goddamn pill. There you have it, Shelley. Now we know. This has just become an educational thing. Now we know. Those are questions that I never wanted to ask, but I was always curious about anyway.
There you go.
So to complete this black magic ritual, what they have to do, they all have to drink from this goblet of blood, disgusting blood. Felicity has no problem. She just, pounds a couple gulps, passes it to Ashley. Ashley, it takes her some doing. She's got to hold her nose, but she gets it down. And I should mention that there's also chunks in the goblet there. Where did the chunks come from?
They come from
The period? I
yeah.
was afraid of that. Yes.
They're like clots.
Oh God.
Wow.
Okay then.
Ew.
It looks like dark red Jell-O.
I might actually throw up. That might actually happen. All right. Enough with the periods, please. Okay. So anyway, Ashley gets it down, takes some doing. Now it's James's turn. He keeps backpedaling. I'm not doing this, man. No fucking way. I'm not drinking this shit. They put the gun to his head, of course, and then they grab him and they get his mouth open. And then they start pouring it in and holding his nose, and he's like, but he's keeping it in his mouth. It's the thing. He's not actually swallowing it.
Right.
Now, Christy has broken through the barriers and she is in the cabin. Now, mind you, she can't get inside the circle yet. So we still got a little bit of time here, folks. But she is getting close. So Felicity starts shooting at her with the Desert Eagle. Unfortunately, in doing so, she has to break the grip on James's head. And when she does that, James spits all the blood out right into Ashley's face, which melts her fucking face right off her.
Yeah, that was weird.
Apparently, period blood is also similar to battery acid. You don't even go near it. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Don't smell it, for fuck's sake. If you take your goddamn pills, ladies, and unless you're looking to have a baby, don't. I don't want any part of it.
It's okay in your mouth, not in your face.
I don't want it in my mouth, my face. I don't want it apparently burn holes in your clothing somehow.
Come on. I know you've had Red Wings before, and you're just fine.
If I did, I do not remember that. I'm not saying I didn't. I had a bit of a drinking problem at one point in my life and spent a lot of time in some very disgusting nightclubs. That's neither here nor there. We're not talking about me.
We're not talking about
We're not
that.
talking about me here, Monica. I'm not on trial. All right, so that's bad business. Ashley is now out of the equation with her face dissolved. Felicity and James go hauling ass outside. Christy stops to further attack Ashley. Once they get outside, Felicity starts trying to push a canoe over so she can get out on the lake. James is like, oh my god. Felicity's pissed now.
Oh, yeah.
So she picks up the shard of broken glass and stabs James right in the neck.
Yeah, all he had to do was swallow it.
All you had to do is swallow it, dude. I mean, let's think about this. What's the alternative? Getting killed by a very sexy naked demon or swallowing a mouthful of period blood clot blood? On second thought, maybe the demon isn't such a bad alternative.
Yeah.
But she stabs him right in the neck, but it doesn't kill him.
Messy sheets.
Ugh. Now, the thing is, though, is that at some point the cops were called and they're finally showing up to deal with this. Ambulance, cop cars, they all come pouring down this remote road towards the cabin. So Felicity's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. James is like, fuck this too, I'm out of here too. And they go taking off into the woods like in separate directions. So, messy sheets, Troy. If that's all you got out of this equation, then you're doing okay.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse. Do a load of laundry. Probably just throw those sheets out. You're in good hands here. So they go taking off into the woods. Eventually, Christy catches up with James. Again, another little bit of a tussle. Felicity shows up in the middle of it. And she just stabs the fuck out. She just kills James. She stabs the fuck out of him with that glass. Yeah, like stabs him in the face and the eyeballs, and she calls him all kinds of names while she's doing, you fucking pussy, all you had to do was swallow it. Gah, 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 gah. That's pretty gnarly. Now, we don't know, we see Christy kind of walk off, and we don't know what's happening. We see her walking back to the cabin, or a cabin. I don't know if it was the same cabin or not. But Felicity, hey, Alan made it finally.
Hi, Alan.
We're talking about periods, Alan. So put on your rubber gloves or whatever you need to do.
Strap in.
Strap in, buddy. It's been a long night. So Christy goes walking back to the cabin or a cabin. Felicity goes hauling ass down the road. Felicity gets to like the main road, which has like pavement on it. Mm-hmm. And about that time, we hear one of the ambulances coming up behind her. Apparently, hot naked demon Christy knows how to drive a stick shift because she has commandeered one of the ambulances and is now gunning for Felicity. Yeah. Felicity's like, fuck, man, she can drive. Who knows? She might have a passport. Maybe she'll follow me to a different country or some shit. We might as well just get this done and over with right now. Mm-hmm. From there, we get a pretty hot little cat fight between these two. Felicity puts up a pretty good fight, stabs her quite a bit. Yeah. I guess that doesn't faze Demon Christy, though, because she's covered in blood already. And eventually, Christy gets on top of Felicity, gives her the thumbs and the eye socket routine, and then does a Prince Oberyn Martell and pulls her head completely apart. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much the end of your movie, isn't it?
No. Mm-hmm.
What else happened?
Christy goes back to the next cabin where there were people there,
and
she starts going into labor.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then she, so was it just me or was that Ashley that came out of her vagina?
I thought it was Felicity.
You think it was Felicity?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Why would it be Felicity?
That's what I didn't understand.
I don't know who that...
Who? What? Where? Why?
Well, whoever it is that comes out of her vagina is also covered in blood.
It looked like Felicity.
It could be.
Would it have been the mom that passed away?
Maybe. I don't know. You can't really tell who it is because she's covered in blood.
Yeah, because she was supposed to be reborn according to the dad.
I was under the impression that she was just going to take Christy's body. If she's going to be, like, come out of there, ugh, hey, that's a whole other set of shit right there. I mean, it's one thing to have your period, but to come out
as an adult,
as a full-grown adult.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much your movie.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Tonight She Comes?
It's one of my favorites.
I loved it. I thought it was a great show.
Yeah.
Very comedic. You can definitely beat off to it. Very original. I think that's what I liked about it the most. I can honestly say you know, I've seen elements of this in other movies, like The Cabin in the Woods and all that shit. But this plot line is brand spanking new to me, man.
Yeah, you're right. I wonder if somebody just sat down and was like, okay, let's take our favorite movies and put it together in one movie.
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods, check. Hot naked chick, check.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Necronomicon type of a thing, check. Let's get some rednecks in there, check.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great show. I think you guys would like it a lot. It's independent, very low budget, but they really went all out with the money they
That's
had.
a lot
Yeah.
of Jello.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you need some serious lubrication if you're coming out of there, dude. After all the period talk, I feel like a gynecologist. See, Jim, we're here for you, man. We're here to educate and bring people up to speed on vaginal trauma and. You know,
Yeah, I worked at a gynecologist's office for 10 years.
did you really?
Uh-huh.
But you were in billing. You weren't like strapping up, were you?
No, but I did get to see some creepy things.
Like what?
Whoa.
Hold on now. Hold on now. Creepy at the gynecologist. I'm interested.
So there was two things that I saw that were really disturbing.
One guy had a hard on, didn't he?
No,
Come on back, sweetie.
this lady
I'm ready for
had
you.
a procedure done. It's kind of like they call it a cheese grater procedure. They go inside and scrape the walls.
Okay.
And it had gone bad, and the hospital was right across the street at the time, so they rushed her over to the hospital, and I didn't know what was going on. The nurse was yelling, so I walked into that room, and there was blood everywhere.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
And you know, hot blood has that smell.
Yeah.
I won't ever forget that. And then the second thing was a miscarried fetus.
Oh!
The lady brought it in, wrapped
She
in a
brought it
towel.
in.
Yeah, it was in a towel, and it was probably the size of my phone.
Oh, my
And
God.
I was like, oh my God. Oh, wow.
That is gnarly.
Wow.
That
and there's
is gnarly.
one other one I have to share. This one will freak you guys out.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm already freaked out, but go ahead.
Yeah.
So I think Shelly's like the only girl on here, so she'll know what I'm talking about. So after you have a hysterectomy, you know, things start to fall out.
Okay. I don't know that, but
Oh,
all right.
okay. Well, there's nothing holding it up, so things will start falling out of
By
your,
things, what exactly are you
Like
talking
your
about?
like your
intestines?
insides. They start falling out. So what you get is this thing called.
Then why would you have that done?
Right?
Well,
That sounds like the worst idea
they
ever.
have a mesh that
Okay.
you sew in there
Right.
to hold it up.
Okay.
Or they have pessaries. They call them donuts. And so they put it in, and the older ladies have these things. And so once a month you come in and they clean it. And this lady,
I think I found the new worst job in the world.
Right?
this poor lady would come in. They would only schedule her at the end of the day.
Okay.
Because when she came in, it smelled up the whole entire office.
Was she,
To-
was she just not bathing regular, or?
It was just the odor that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God.
Inmates, you remember? You remember about a half hour
Never
ago?
going to Dunkin' Donuts.
Especially if it's grape filled.
Something in there to hold your guts in.
You remember about a half hour ago when I said I could beat off to anything? I think I'm going to take a mulligan on that one. I am not going to beat off in Monica's gynecologist's office, especially if the old lady is there with the donut thing crammed up her crack. All right, inmates, we're going to go ahead and take us a little break here. We'll come back with some other stuff.
Yeah, you guys definitely check out this movie.
You're going to love this one. It's great.
Yes.
Ooh, all righty.
Bye.
Wow,
I
that's
thought
gnarly.
a gyno with a hard-on would be the creepiest thing possible.
Oh.
I imagine at one point you probably just go gay, right? If you see a bunch of disgusting vaginas all the time,
I don't know how, like,
you come home, the wife is like, "Hey, baby," you're like, God damn, no, hell no, get away.
yeah, do you know what I've seen
Yeah,
today?
let me draw you a picture real quick, sweetie. Ugh. All right, inmates, thank you very much for joining us for another live show. We'll be back next week. I don't know what movie we're doing yet. It's Monica's choice, so
Oh, do you want to know? I can tell you.
tell him.
It's called Bunny the Thing Killer.
Bunny
Or
the
the Killer
Killer Thing.
Thing. The Killer Thing.
There you have it.
All right.
We'll see you next week with that one.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.